box, so let's get started. First thing I want to do is to remind you that this January through June mini catalog will be expiring on June 30th. That is next week. And there are still some wonderful things that if you haven't had a chance to order them yet from the catalog, that you need to go online to my store, creationsbysue.stampinup.net, and check the retiring products. Some of the items in this catalog are in the annual catalog, and others are indeed retiring. And rather than give you a list of the things that are retiring, it's best if you go to my store and see what's still available, because things are selling out. So I just wanted to remind you about that. And now I'm going to feature product from the new mini catalog. Let me show you the cover of that. Season's Greetings. This is from an awesome set that is in the catalog. A large suite of product, because it has 2 stamp sets and 2 die sets and wonderful DSP, actually 2 or 3 different DSPs and all kinds of embellishments. It's a great set. So at any rate, this is what's coming up. It'll be active, I think, July 1st. Let's see if it says here in the back. Yep, July 1st. So that's just around the corner. So get ready. Anyway, so the product suite that I'm going to be using, and I can't show you the inside, unfortunately, but it's called Splendid Thoughts. And it has this designer series paper that's foiled on one side. It has these, on either side it has this embossed foil, and this is the back pattern. There's this one that's kind of a platinum type. It's not exactly silver. At least it doesn't seem quite silver to me. And the back of it is a green. It's got a dotted texture. Can you see it? And it's modeled. A very interesting background. Subtle one. And there's this beautiful copper one. And the back side of it is this Calypso coral. Took me a minute. And you can see the dots in this one really well. And then there's this lovely piece. This is gold. And it's got flowers and butterflies, or bees rather, on either side. And this is kind of cool because you can cut it down and do like that, put a greeting on it, and you're done. The fastest way to make cards. I'm going to show you in this live presentation scrapbook page I'm going to use this for. And this is a soft seafoam, kind of a shimmery paper. And the back side of it is kind of looks to me like little tiny leaves or blossoms, kind of like this from the stamp set, scattered all over. And then there's this beautiful, beautiful pink, magenta. And the back of that has this, they're lovely little flowers. Actually, I believe they are this stamp that they have stamped repeatedly over the background. So that's the designer series paper. I've shown you a little bit of it, the stamp set. The greetings say, sending hugs, let's celebrate, much love in your new life together. So this would make a nice wedding card. Today is a day to remember, and that could be applicable to all kinds of different things. Graduation. I have a whole bunch of young people that are in my family that are graduating. This is a day to remember. Excellent. Good idea, Sue. The die set that comes along. as this does not stamp out any of the images. It's just nice leaves. I should say it doesn't cut out. And this one doesn't either. This is another possibility for just greenery. This one cuts out this, and this kind of inks the stamp set, but not quite. Let me show you what I mean. See, it sort of does give sort of a thing. If you position it like that, it does, but it doesn't get this bottom one. But otherwise, if it does ink the rest of it. Don't know why they didn't include that one, but that's where they're the designers. And this would sort of I think it's designed to just give the illusion of stamp. Oh, I'm turning it the right direction. So if you put it on, it kind of goes like that. You'd have to play with it. There's a bee, the bee stamp, and the greetings, and then this one. And this die does cut that out. And then there's several other dies. This kind of looks to me like perhaps some flowers that you could cut out. And then included in the suite are these metal open leaves. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hang those for earrings. That would be very cool. But it's also cool to tie onto a package or to incorporate into your card. Maybe tuck it underneath a label that's popped up. And then lovely, I just love seam binding ribbon. This is soft seafoam color. So it's really nice when they give you a color, but you know, you can take white seafoam and, white seam binding and color it with the Stampin' Blends and get just about any color you want. But the seam binding ribbon just ties so easily, and it's so soft and lovely and just makes gorgeous bowls. So that is the suite, and we are going to make a card using it. Set that aside. This is the card. Got two layers of the two sides of the designer series paper and the images. So I'm going to start with card base of basic white. This is 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2, but you could easily do it at 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. I like the fold this way because it stands up so nicely. However, you must score this because the fibers are running this way on the card. And if you don't score it and bend those fibers, you get a really wonky fold. makes it hard to straighten it. So that's the card base. This piece is one of the designer series papers. It's 5.5 by, let me measure it here, by 3, 5.5 by 3. And we'll just go ahead and put that on the card base. I had a hard time deciding how I wanted to layer it. Did I want to do this with this and then this in the front? Or did I want to turn it over? Or I could have done both of these like this. But I decided I wanted to have the contrast on the back. So that's what I'm going for. Put it slightly off to the edge, off the edge. Like that. And then these thank you, Stamp and Seal, for behaving yourself. Okay. I want this a little bit further over. I want a little bit more space on this side. Yeah, now it's crooked. There, that's good. I'll have to trim it along the top a little bit. Then we'll put this on. I had hoped to cover up the corner that's kind of wonky, but that'll work the way it is. And then put this layer on. Sort of like that. Now we've got some stamping to do and some die cutting to do. So I already stamped Sending Hugs on here because seeing me stamp is not necessarily exciting because we mostly all have done stamping. And I wanted to save a little bit of time. I'm using Evening Evergreen. And generally when it's recommended that you use Memento ink when you're going to use stamping blends, but I have found that our classic inks seem to work pretty well with the Stampin' Blends as well. Okay, and then I'm going to color that in with the light Evening Evergreen. Stampin' Blend. I love the Stampin' Blends because they make such a nice, they're more transparent ink than the markers, the Stampin' Right markers, so that you can still see the lines if you have lines that are defining depth. You can still see the lines. Whereas, at least to me, the markers are so dense a color that you can't see through. So see how on this spot right here, you can still see the line through there. This is a nice, I can't think of, maybe it's a Schefflera. I'm not quite sure what you call this house plant. But it's a nice one for coloring because it's not so detailed. So there's that. And now we will cut out our things. Oh, I forgot to mention, this half circle has a little stitching along the side there. And I'm going to cut it out like that. Whoop, not like that. Like this, to make a pot for my plant. And Stampin' Up! Tried to create a magnetic platform. I love magnetic platforms, and on my big Stampin' Cut and Emboss, I still use the magnetic platform from Sizzix. But Stampin' Up! Wasn't able to get it to their desired specifications, so they have finally given up on it. And if you bought one, you call DS because they are giving a refund. So there's our pot. Now this piece of cardstock is too wide to go through, so I'm going to have to shorten it, cut it down. The mini cut and emboss is a wonderful little tool. Takes up not very much space, so if you're limited on crafting space, it's perfect. It's perfect for taking when you're traveling, because it doesn't, like I say, it doesn't take up much space. And most of our dies, you can cut almost anything with it. The embossing folders are a little more limited because most of them are almost 6 inches wide. But we do have some that are specific for the Stampin' Emboss. And I just ordered, just came today out of the new catalog, this wintry. Oh, I'll take it back. They're not in the new catalog, they're in the annual one. These wintry Stampin' Emboss folders. There's the snowflakes, and then there is pines, and they are lovely, very lovely. And they fit perfectly. They were designed for the mini Stampin' Emboss. Getting all kinds of little pieces of washi tapes there on my stand for my holder. Okay. So now we will put together the card, the rest of the card. And I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals for the vase. And for the plant, we're using mini Stampin' Dimensionals because they'll fit on the leaves so nicely. Oops, if I get them aimed right. I am starting a new program from a blog and for my customers, and it's a featured stamp of the month, or bundle of the month. And if somebody orders that bundle during the month, I will send them 5 tutorials for ways to use that bundle for free. And the bundle for June is the heron habitat. Next month will be this bundle with the plants. So there you have it. Could add the ribbon possibly, but it doesn't quite go, I don't think, with the greens of the DSP. So I'm going to leave it just like it is. Sending hugs. Now, I told you that I was going to show you a scrapbook page, and I don't scrapbook a lot. I've got tons of pictures, and I need to scrapbook a lot, but I just don't get it done. And before I die, I need to, because I'm the only one who will know these pictures. So this is one of the large sheets of the designer series paper, the one with the flowers and then the bees, and it is so pretty, and it makes it such a lovely background. So I found these pictures of myself as I was growing up. So this was as a baby. This one I was probably 2 or 3 years old. Can you imagine how short our skirts were back then? And this one is my 8th grade graduation picture. And I'm trying to place them so that the bees are not covered up. And this is our wedding picture. And then that's me now. And this was a color picture that I took recently, and I decided to transform it into a black and white so it would go with the rest of it. And I like the vintage borders around these, so I think I'm going to mat these two with white cardstock. And then I'm planning to write approximate age or something like that along here, so that when people look at it, they can say, oh, okay, that's when this happened. So that's the scrapbook page I'm going to do. It's nothing fancy, very quick, very easy, and if you've got lots of pages to do, that's the way to do it. Just put them on there. Scrapbook pages can be a work of art. This one's a work of art because the background, the artist at Stampin' Up! Did it all for me. So anyhow, that's what I have to share with you today. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, you can contact me, Sue at soggystamper.com. My blog is www.soggystamper.com. And my store, if you need any of the supplies, creationsbysue.stampinup.net. I'll get this video up on my YouTube channel, The Soggy Stamper, this afternoon. And I will do a blog post with this card so that you have the measurements. I'll try to get that done this afternoon too. So at any rate, you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again next Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Thanks for watching.